Welcome to the fourth podcast in the series of Knowing God. In the previous study from Matthew chapter 5 verse 14, God taught us that we are the light and the world represents darkness. We were taught to be separated from the world as there is no fellowship between light and darkness. As the children of God, it's become a necessity for us to be separated from all darkness because God demands separation. Today, the reading is taken from Genesis chapter 1, verses from 6 through 25. As it's a long reading, we won't be reading it verse by verse, but request everyone to read the passage as we meditate on it. God creates light first, and this helps ground the pattern of day and night that dominates the rest of the chapter. On day 2, God creates a firmament that creates an air bubble between the upper and lower primal oceans in which the rest of creation can flourish. Day 3 brings the creation of dry land and God's command for that dry land to spring forth with plants. The next 3 days each correspond to one of the first 3. God creates heavenly lights on day 4 corresponding to light on day 1. God creates sea and air creatures on day 5 to inhabit the realm focused on in day 2. And God creates animals and humans on day 6 to inhabit the dry land created on day 3 and to eat the plants that sprung forth then. Well, if you read carefully, you would notice that everything that God created was by saying. Verse 6, 9, 11, 14, 20, 24 and 26 starts with, "And God said." We see beautiful things being created when He spoke. Today, as children of God, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what do we say? Or let me put it this way, what are the words that proceeds out from your mouth? Because when God spoke every time, He created something good. He was mindful and organized while creating. Note here that the emphasis throughout the chapter is on God's power to create and how organized He was during the act of creation. Are you organized? We all better answer that question because our God is well organized. Why do I say so? It's because on the first 3 days He created the realms, and on the following 3 days He created the creatures to inhabit the realms. He didn't stop there. Later He opened His mouth to bless the inhabitants. We see that in Genesis chapter 1 verse 22. "And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." What do? We always find ourselves doing exactly the opposite of what God did in the above passage. When we speak, do we create or destroy the things around us? Do we make or break people? Do we speak peace or bring in conflict in the situations around us? What proceeds from our mouth, curse or blessings? My brothers and sisters, we are His children and are supposed to imitate our Father in heaven. That's why when we speak, we also should create something good and should open our mouths to bless everyone. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So let's be like our God. Number one, let us be creators and creator of good things. Number two, let's be organized and also be mindful about opening our mouths only to bless others. God bless you.